Hi, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the RFID. There's a couple of articles in Time magazine about it, and the thing that was interesting to me was how very similar this RFID is to the biblical uh, mark of the beast. It says you may not know what RFID stands for, but you're probably using the technology on a daily basis. RFID, that is Radio Frequency Identification, is in passports, electronic toll collection tags, in credit cards, Metro cards, library cards, and car keys. Like conventional barcodes, RFID chips store and relay information, and it also allows for the identification of commercial products, and now for animals, house pets, and people too. Human tagging, as it's called, was approved by the Food and Drug Administration in 2004 to facilitate retrieval of private medical records. But the procedure has had few takers, and not too many people so far have really bought into this. There's another very interesting thing about this chip that Time magazine writes. It is still purely voluntary. Now, why would they say it's purely voluntary? That's a very interesting way of putting it. Let me continue reading about what happened in California. It says it's still purely voluntary, and last week California Governor Schwarzenegger sought to keep it that way, signing a bill that makes it illegal for employers to force workers to have RFID devices implanted. It's interesting that that they signed a law in California making it illegal to force people to take it. In Revelation 13, it says about the false prophet and the Antichrist. It says while it's voluntary, purely voluntary now, it says at that time, it says that he forces everyone, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive the mark. So right now there's laws, and maybe there's fear, and there's desire to keep it voluntary. But according to Scripture, it's not going to stay voluntary. It's going to become it will be forced. It says that Schwarzenegger signed the bill making it illegal for employers to force workers to have RFID devices implanted as a means of receiving paychecks or government benefits. So we see that this is going to be used as a means to get your paycheck. It says that no one could buy or sell unless he had the mark. And it's interesting that California is trying to prevent this from happening, and yet why are they trying to prevent it? Perhaps because they see perhaps the inevitability of this happening, that it will actually replace cash universally. It says the chip is no great shakes, but it doesn't have to be. It just stores one very large number. All this chip does is store one very large number. Well, what does Scripture say? It says, no one could buy or sell unless he had the mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of his name. So the mark of the beast is a number. And here, Time magazine is saying that all that this chip does is store a very big number. It says it is useful in ways that range from the mundane to the sinister. It is the technology behind cash-free highway tolls, but it goes way beyond that. I mean, here it is beginning to be implemented as a replacement for cash, because it says cash-free highway tolls. It is beginning to replace money, which is what Scripture says. Let me just read to you what Scripture says about the people who take this mark. But I believe it's a step in that direction. that very soon we probably will have to choose whether or not we're going to allow this to be implanted in us or not. But let me just tell you what it does say about the mark of the beast. It says, if anyone worships the beast or the image and receives his mark on the forehead or on the hand, he too will drink of the wine of God's fury, which has been poured full strength into the cup of his wrath. He will be tormented with burning sulfur in the presence of the holy angels and of the Lamb, and the smoke of their torment rises forever and ever. There is no rest, day or night, for those who worship the beast and his image, or for anyone who receives the mark of his name.